Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gotham vs. Song, presented by Incogni. This is a 4-day match that I am playing currently in Madrid in Spain against none other than Julian Song, the most viewed French chess content creator. Some of you might have seen him on YouTube, but if you don't speak French, then maybe not. After this match, you will have seen him quite a bit. I played him 2 times earlier in 2025. Both of those games were draws. We once played on the live stream of Inoxtag. And we will be playing 2 classical games, we'll be playing 4 rapid games, and we will be playing 8 games of Blitz. This is kind of like Battle of Generations. Like I played against Pia Kramling, except it's less games, and we are from the same generation, and we are both much worse than Grandmaster Pia Kramling. This is the first classical game, but without further ado, I did say this was presented by Incogni, so shout out to the sponsor of the match, Incogni.
Folks, have you ever Googled yourself? Most people don't realize how exposed they actually are online. Your address, phone number, workplace, and even information about your family is oftentimes publicly available. And the reason for that is something called data brokers. Data brokers are companies that collect information about you from public records, apps, online purchases, and more. They then bundle that data and sell it to other companies or publish it on person search websites without you even knowing. And that's exactly what criminals use for scams, identity theft, loan fraud, and even stalking. That's why I use Incogni. Incogni automatically identifies hundreds of these data brokers and then requests on your behalf to have this information removed. And Incogni doesn't just do this once, it does it on an ongoing basis to make sure your data stays offline. And here's one of Incogni's most powerful features: custom removal. If you discover your information on a website Incogni doesn't cover automatically, you can just send them the link you found. A real privacy expert will then just take care of it for you. No stress, no guessing, none of that. And Incogni is independently verified by Deloitte, so this isn't just a marketing ploy. They actually will remove your data and fight for it until it's gone. And that way, if people can't find your personal information, they can't misuse it. Try Incogni risk-free today and use my code GOTHAM for 60% off their yearly plan. The link is in the description. Take control of your online presence today before someone else does. Now let's get into this video.
So, before I even get into any moves, this is a new travel setup. I'm on a laptop. I'm using a totally different camera. I've got this microphone that I clip on, and obviously I'm on a totally different overlay. If you like this overlay, I'll keep it for the match, but if you hate it, then I'll go back to the original one in the next recap. This was a very long first game, okay? It's late at night here, I'm jet lagged, I slept crazy hours flying over to Europe. If any of you have flown east, you know that it is a brutal thing, and my lighting is pretty bad. So we will have all of those things improved in the second recap. So I opened with d4, and Julien played knight to f6, which actually surprised me. Because he is allowing me to play the Trempowski, and this is an opening that I play a lot. And the thing is, when you are preparing for somebody, you never know what to expect. I was actually expecting him to not allow me to play the Trempowski, so this is interesting information that I may or may not use later in the match in Rapid and Blitz. But I just played the Kali. I played knight f3 and e3. I've been messing around with a lot of different openings with the white pieces, and just trying to see what sticks, trying to see what works. I told you, I'm tired. Like, I can't even talk, right? He went e6, I went bishop d3, and he went bishop e7, which is a completely reasonable move, although it is much more passive than some of the other options here that black can play, like c5 and b6. Actually, like, he was playing very fast, and I went knight bd2 immediately. And the idea of knight bd2 is very straightforward. I just want to prepare the move e4. And I want him to not be able to put his knight on e4. That's kind of the idea of the Kali. I will either play b3 or sometimes c3, and Julien played b6. Here, white can just immediately push the pawn to e4, and I already thought I was getting myself somewhere that I was pretty happy, which is exactly what I did. My intention, had he taken me, was to play pawn takes e4, knight takes e4. The knight trade is just bad here for black because the rook on a8 is hit, and black's only way to defend this is this, and this is just very ugly. And had he gone bishop b7 straight away, I was actually just going to take on f6, play this, and then I was probably going to play like queen e2. There are some positions where losing this pawn can be very dangerous for black, actually. Yeah, even if not queen e2, I was just going to play c3, and this is the game that I was ready to play. I was really surprised by his move, bishop b7. So, you know, Julian is a French player primarily, and somehow he like got us into a French. Like now we have like, you know, e4, e6, d4, you know, d5. I can't tell if it's a meme that he plays the French because he is French, or like, yeah, I don't know which one came first. But yeah, it's quite fitting. Now, look, I contemplated several options. I thought about taking on d5, but like, okay, there is obviously nothing inherently wrong with moving the pawn to e5. He went here, and at this point, I mean, I knew Black's ideas quite vaguely. Black obviously wants to play the move c5. I should play c3. I need to hold my center together. And I wasn't really in love with this knight. Like I figured probably the best move here was something like a knight f1, knight to g3, just, you know, slowly maneuver my knight. Instead of that, I played a move that Stockfish doesn't hate, but which is certainly adventurous, which is the move h4. Like h4 is not completely stupid, but it is pretty stupid. In a nutshell, the idea is, you know, in a lot of positions where you kick out the black pieces from a French defense, you can then push the pawn as far as possible. Like nowadays, computers just move the h-pawns basically always. And as we see from the evaluation, like this is fine for black, but it's not, it's fine for black and for white, but it's, you know, it's not like as venomous as it looks. He went c5, I went c3, and then he tried to trade his bad bishop for my good bishop. At this point, I thought about letting him take my bishop and getting my queen out. Instead, I opted for this trade because I thought the knight needs to stand on c6 from where it targets the center on d4 and maybe e5, and I just figured it was misplaced on a6, so I thought this was relatively reasonable. At this point already, I started really doubting myself, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that I just don't play certain structures all that often. Frankly, I don't play that all that often, period. Yeah, I think it's like a weird insecurity of like not playing certain positions and being afraid to do certain things. Like here I went h5, which is a very reasonable move. Like you already played h4, you might as well go h5. Black would like to take on d4, play knight b4, play rook c8, and then like maybe land here. So for me, it kind of makes sense to play like knight f1, rook c8. He's trying to play knight b4, and just play something like a3. And this position is completely reasonable for white. But I didn't go for this for some reason. I don't know. I like already thought I was doing something stupid. I was like, really? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm a head case. But I just went h5. And he took and immediately put his knight on b4. Now, what's interesting about this position is, I mean, it kind of looks like he's threatening knight d3, but at the same time, it doesn't look like he's threatening knight d3 at all, because it's just one knight. And I have famously said on this channel, you cannot go to battle with one horse. I have said that. You can't go to battle with one horse. Yeah, he went to battle with one horse, you know? And I mean, I honestly, computer wants me to start with this move h6, which is fine. I didn't know if I should play h6 or not. So I just went a3 and I figured, okay, knight d3, and now his knight is gone, right? Like his knight went a6, b4, d3, c1, and my bishop never even moved. So even though my king, you know, I've played a bomb cloud and I've already played like Alpha Zero, I've basically I've basically played like a computer who is smoking. Overall, I thought this was a pretty reasonable position and he castled. And so now, you know, in Blitz, here, probably without even thinking, I would again play this move h6 because you know, you kind of just instigate with the pawn structure. But I didn't know, like I didn't know. I'm like, okay, he's gonna go g6 and then what? Like maybe my pawn is better on h5 for now. And maybe I wanna, you know, launch a second pawn in the future and something like that. So I overthought it, as always. In this position, you know, it also looks like black might wanna play the move f6, pawn break. And I was looking at the move rook c6 originally. Just put my rook on c6. And basically, if he attacks my rook with knight b8, that's kind of a waste of time because I just move back. But I don't go back to c1, I go like here, for example. And I mean, his knight would be standing on the b8 square. But I was looking at this position and I was thinking like, he's gonna go b5, he's gonna go knight b6, he's gonna move his a pawn, he's gonna put his knight on c4, he's gonna play rook c8. And I decided like, I probably should stop him from going b5. But I didn't know how. It's not that simple. I was debating between the moves queen b3 and queen a4. Both of them look very reasonable. I thought if queen a4, I'm trying to go queen c6 and maybe even trade his queen and then infiltrate on the c file because I'm the first one to the c file. And so I went queen a4. Queen a4 is a really, really, really stupid move. I know it's equal, but I was really hating myself for playing this move. Because the idea, again, is like maybe I play queen c6 and maybe even queen b7 and queen c7 and I just try to make a little bit of something happen there before these pieces ever find any sort of activity. But he thought for some time and went a6. He probably shouldn't have spent 20 minutes on this move. And after a6, I just felt like such an idiot because I have to move my queen again. My original intention here was to play queen c6. But queen c6, he can play this ridiculous move rook a7, and I can't even trade the queen. Like, why is my queen on c2, c6? And he's gonna play like knight b6. Okay, like for example, I play h6, he plays g6. I was thinking I play rook c2, but he can just go for his plan. And now the best move for white is to leave. And at which point, like, what am I mean, so when I realized that my entire plan that I spent like 15 minutes coming up with didn't work, I mean, story of my life, story of like any Gotham recap on this channel, I started feeling really negative, as always. You know, I was like, okay, well, I don't know what to do because he's just going to play b5, knight b6, and if anything, I just wasted time with my queen. So I played the move g4. And the idea of g4 was, okay, you want to play b5, knight b6, etc. I'm going to put my queen on e3. I'm going to play g5, g6. I'm just going to go for checkmate. That's it. Like, I'm mad. I don't know what to do. I just spent 30 minutes getting myself into a worse position. I don't know how to play chess. He went b5, I went queen c2, he went knight b6, and actually originally in this position, I wanted to play queen b3, knight b6, and queen e3, but that just doesn't work because he comes here with a tempo. And if I ever make this trade, this is just terrible for white because he has just pressure on the b file, and I'm never going to do anything substantial with my attack. So I went queen d3 and rook c2, and this is really ugly. I also here kind of wanted to play b3, let him take my pawn, and just, you know, make a run for it. Just go attack his king. But I didn't really believe in this. And I thought, okay, like, it's better not to be down any pawns. Let's just play rook c2. He quickly played a5. I quickly played rook g1. I wanted to play g5. He went a4. I went g5, and he went queen b6. And he was playing really quickly. And for the last like 6 moves, it really felt like the game was spiraling out of control for me because I just don't have a plan. Like, once I got thwarted on the queen side and I chose a plan that wasted time, I mean, he got to the exact position I was trying to avoid. And I was just really annoyed. I was feeling really down. I was like, I mean, I'm playing a terrible game. Like I just couldn't, I was like, what am I doing? Like, look at my position. I mean, I had a couple of moments I could have maybe done something slightly different, but I was very, very negative here. And then I was like, okay, time to go through a second puberty, time to grow up, and I went knight h2. And I thought knight h2 was a very tricky move, because the idea was to play knight g4, followed by maybe f4, followed by maybe knight to f6. And suddenly I started feeling a little bit of confidence, but I still thought that he can just play king h8, like move the king out of the way, he can just play rook c8. But as always, my biggest personality flaw, other than being really, really handsome and super, super humble, is the fact that I tend to underestimate my position. I get very confident for the opponent. He thought here for some time, and he ended up taking my knight. And I was just thinking, like, what? His knight was so strong. Why would he trade it off? Well, I mean, there's a point. I mean, he's trying to play b4, right? He's trying to play this move b4, and if he plays it now, I would take his knight. But b4 just did not feel like a strong enough counterattack to my kingside attack. I thought he needed to do something else. But to be honest with you, knight takes d2 is completely fine. I even told him after the game I thought knight takes d2 was a bit strange. And then he went b4. So everything he's doing is making sense. And, you know, we're going to get down into some endgame probably, but I still felt like after knight g4, I have very, very interesting chances. And now I think he needs to play something like king h8, or he needs to take my pawn. I mean, I basically just gave him a pawn. But my idea here was this amazing move, knight to f6 check. And the point is that after pawn takes and pawn takes, his bishop is hanging. And if he plays h6, I even thought I could play rook takes g5. I cannot play rook takes g5, but I can play f4. And this looks very, very dangerous for black, but it's just equal. It's just equal. Somehow. I don't know how. I mean, like this. It's equal like this. Queen d6, fg, queen h2 check, king f1, queen takes h5, discovered check, and the king is safe on h8. Okay. Well, I have to tell you, I mean, I didn't even think I was winning. I just thought I was posing some nice practical problems here with the move knight g4. And he went queen a6. And deep in my mind, I really felt like him trading all these pieces was the wrong move. I just did not think that this was correct. Unfortunately, I only have one line to get my advantage here. And I saw the line, but I did not appreciate how good it is. Essentially, I can play knight f6, and it looks like it just wins, because if it looks like if he takes me, I have a discovered attack on his bishop, and if he plays king h8, unfortunately queen h7 is not mate, because I'm pinned. But I thought I can go queen a6, here knight d7, but there's nothing here, right? Rook c8. Actually, there is. My knight is not trapped. I can play knight c5 anyway, which I did not see. I did not see that. I just thought that my knight goes over there, and then I didn't see what I play after rook c8. I thought he just dominates the file. But then after knight c5, if he takes me like this, I actually pin him, and now I'm cooking. So apparently this endgame is just better for white after rook dc2. And if he doesn't take my knight, if he plays something like rook b6, knight a4 is a free pawn. So maybe if he plays something, no, rook a7, ab. So yeah, I had this sequence where I could have like super hopped in with my knight and then super galloped to the other side of the board, but that's the only move. Instead, I went h6, and I actually was setting up the same kind of idea, but oh my goodness, here I just went super stupid mode. Super stupid. He took my pawn, right? And I wanted to make a move pretty quickly. I didn't understand here. I was like, b takes a3, what? But what about knight f6 check? Knight f6, king h8, I can take on g7 here. I just thought this was a very reasonable move. Takes, and then like something like rook h1, I have like maybe, I can also maybe take on a3, I thought. Anyway, doesn't matter. Like I thought about knight f6, and if knight f6, he can also maybe take with the bishop, I thought, but apparently not. I think this endgame is just good. And the position I was hoping for after here was g6. And after g6, something like knight f6, bishop takes, I was going to play maybe queen takes, rook takes, and maybe take with the e-pawn. Okay, g-pawn is even stronger according to computer. But I just thought this endgame was winning for white. And if not winning, like really practically difficult, because black is so passive here. Like ultimately I will put my rooks on the file, and I mean, black will have a nightmare to get the rook out, and I just thought like in the long run I would win because he's so passive. So when I played h6, I actually thought I was back in the driver's seat, only for him to go here. I was like, a move I didn't even look at. I didn't go knight f6, and I just went here, and he can just take it. Like, I don't know what I was thinking here, because now I don't even have knight f6, because it's no longer attacking his bishop. So in this position, I can still play the move knight f6, and then I can take on g7, and then I can take on a3. You understand? Like, I can play knight f6 first, because he's going to lose a move with his king. Instead, I did this, and now it's the same position, except in the previous version, my knight is already here. I mean, this is elementary stuff. This is horrendous chess, just awful. I mean, and part of the reason why here I made a mistake is I felt like the pressure, like I really felt the tension. Like I was like, okay, knight f6 ba, knight f6 ba, like I don't want to spend too much time. Let's quickly my ass, bishop a3. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm just losing. And he went rook h8. He should have taken my queen first. What's funny is he's actually winning here with a very simple sequence. He's winning with the following sequence. So my idea here, it looks like I'm going to go here and do something, right? Like on h7. Black just needs to go bishop b2, and the pawn, like I don't know how this is not minus 50. Okay, it's like just barely survivable for white. I mean, I don't know how this isn't like minus 100. This is, and bishop b2, I didn't even, like, I just thought I was going to lose. I'm just like, I'm going to go rook h3, maybe I will lose. And then he went back, right? And I'm thinking, okay, I'm probably going to lose this game. But I found a nice little resource, a little check, and I push his king to the back rank. And here I thought the best move was rook c3. Of course, I didn't play rook c3. Of course, I'm a complete moron. Rook c3 here is the move because you need to immediately activate. If he wins the second pawn, I was thinking to play something like, okay, the computer wants to play rook a1. Ah, rook a1 is a nasty little move. It threatens rook a4 and rook c8. Wow, that's very clever. And then if he runs the king, I just give him a check. So yes, I had a feeling rook c3 was the right move, but I didn't see what to play when he took my second pawn. I was like, why am I down 2 pawns? But yeah, apparently after rook a1 is a very nice little resource. Anyway, I went here. And now he's just winning, right? He pushes the pawn. I have to go defend it. I'm way too passive. And he plays h6. h6, apparently not the best move. Apparently black should just go for a run with the king at this point. Just activate the king because I don't have any counterplay. And when the king comes out, I'm going to lose. He went h6. And now I thought down to like 2 minutes. I played rook h3 and he has a very nice move here, just h5. And the thing about the move h5 is I just can't take the pawn. If I trade a pair of rooks, well, I can't even take with the rook. If I take with the rook, he's going to take my knight and he's defending this. If I take with the knight, I'm pinned and I'm just going to lose because he's going to play bishop b4, bishop c3, etc. So then he starts running the pawn all the way down. Now look at this position. This is one of the worst positions I have ever had. This man Julian Song, okay? Like he put his foot on my forehead. Okay, like look, this is the worst position I have ever been a part of. There are 2 pawns promoting at 2 corners supported by 2 rooks. I am barely holding on here, barely. And I was like, I'm gonna fight, like I'm losing, but I'm gonna fight. You know, he went king g7, I didn't see anything here, didn't see anything. He's just gonna bring his king, he's gonna bring his rook. At some point, he's gonna win my pawn on d4, like every bishop versus knight endgame is losing for me, rook b2, he played king g6. I mean, if I take on a2, like he just takes my pawn, so I went here. I thought this was a reasonable move, but of course at all times I'm thinking like, I'm just probably losing. I mean, I'm losing. He went king f5, like I'm losing. The one thing that I did see, this was very, very funny. I saw that if he doesn't play super accurately, like look at this position. For example, I can play rook b2 now, or for example, I can play rook b3. And if he plays king e4, I have an amazing little trick, I thought. I can play rook takes, it's a stalemate, and I play rook e3, and it's a crazy rook position. And this is what I was hoping for. Now he has to run around with the king. He has to go king d4, I play rook d3. He plays king c5, I play rook d5 or rook c3. You know, he runs away. I didn't know if this was gonna work, but, you know, and the point is that, yeah, anywhere he moves with the rook, I just keep going. That's losing, apparently. What? No, it's not losing. What? What was that? Rook a7 I also have. Rook a7 is bad because taking the rook doesn't actually save me. I have to put, yeah, anyway, you get the point. Crazy rook. But he went rook h3, which I actually saw and was like, oh, that's cool. That's great. Yeah, I'm in a lot of trouble here. I think I have to reload the board, yes. So he went rook h3. If I play rook e7, very nice move. He's going to go rook b3 and rook b1. When he played this, I thought, okay, it must be over. So I went rook b2. He went rook a4. And I went for one last trick. And the amazing thing about the move rook a4 is that I only played my next move. By the way, we both have less than a minute. Every move we make, we gain 30 seconds. But the anxiety, the stress, maybe I don't show it on camera, but inside I'm dying. Like oh my goodness, I was so nervous. Position is like everything is hanging. I went knight g8. This is the most clutch move I played in the entire game. Knight to g8, going to his knight square, attacking his bishop, and jumping in with this check. All I need him to do is to start to doubt himself, you know? And king f4 is the best move. He should just plow forward and lose his pawn, but he went back. And I was like, wait a minute, I can take on a2 now, because when he takes on d4, there's a little bit of counterplay on the last rank. And at this point, I actually start thinking, maybe I'm going to win. Because what you guys don't understand is, make absolutely no mistake, you would diarrhea in your trousers with white and with black in this position. When you watch these games live on stream, right, and you're in the live chat, or you watch the recaps, it doesn't matter if you're 2,000, 2,100, we are so much better than you. Like, it's not even remotely close. You don't even understand the stress of the game. It's so much easier to sit at home, eval bar, you don't get it. Now, both of us felt like the momentum was shifting. He goes bishop b6, and now there's a lot of lines where I can even sack this pawn maybe and like trap his king, but I went rook g8, and I thought I tricked him with rook b8. And the idea is his bishop is hanging and f7 is hanging. And suddenly, I'm not even down a pawn anymore. And suddenly I'm threatening rook h8, and he has 40 seconds. And the board is enormous. The board is feeling huge because he doesn't have a way to get rid of my king in the corner here. I realized at this point that the only way for him to actually do anything here is to get a rook to g1, right? He went king g6, which I felt was a mistake, and I centralized my knight. And at this point, I breathed and I was like, Gotham, I don't call myself that, I think you're going to win this game. He goes running with the king. I noticed here I have rook h8, and I can take his rook, and then I have this check on a3. He's missing rook a3 check. Like, I take his rook and I play rook a3, and I realize he's missing it. And here I went for this very nice idea, f5. I was very, very emboldened. I played this move and nearly lost on time. Nearly lost on time. 2 seconds, I played f5. And now my logic was, I have 2 passed pawns. This is like, all right, lock in. I mean, this is still so complicated. I got 30 seconds. Rook h8, or do I push now? I really wanted to push right now, but I just didn't know. I'm like, if I push now, you know, he's going to bring this rook and stop me, and then, you know, I'm like, okay, let's just go for that line with rook h8, and then we trade, and then I went for e6. Now, the incredible thing is this move is losing on the spot. It's so hard to understand why. But when you see it with the engine, you still won't understand why, but I will explain it to you. I have to, it's equal, right? But I thought e6, I thought e6, e7, e8, and I thought this is so tricky. Like, how does he stop me? He can't go rook e4. What does he do? And he went passive. He missed it. The winning move here is bishop c5, and it's actually ludicrous. The reason bishop c5 is winning has nothing to do with the knight. It has to do with the a3 square, and now when I go e7 and he goes rook g4, he beats me to, well, he doesn't beat me, but he beats me. He wins. It's mate. It's that idea that I showed you, except now I don't have rook a3. So bishop c5 in a time trouble stopping rook a3 is madness. Absolutely mad. Absolute madness. I actually saw that Hikaru was in my live stream, not at the board. I'm not watching the stream, but after, and he said, like, maybe a grandmaster can find bishop c5 in time trouble. But I mean, yeah, he said we wouldn't be able to. And I have to be honest with you, I mean, I saw this move, but I mean, I just thought that I was promoting, but the two ideas combined are problematic. Wait, why is rook a3 not a thing? King g4, e7. Oh, bishop d6. Oh, wow. And yeah, okay. Anyway, he went here. And I went g6. And at this very moment, I thought I was going to win the game. And I'm winning. I'm winning. I thought he was going to blunder rook g4 and forget about this, and now I'm winning. But I have a minute to find what's the win. Now, originally, I wanted to play knight takes f5 and e7. I mean, I'm just promoting, like e7, and what can be more natural than taking and defending my pawn? I calculated the difference between e7 and knight f5. Knight f5 is winning, but only if you then retreat the knight to e3. And at this very moment, you know, his rook is hanging, and let's say he plays rook g3. At this moment, I play g7. Now he has to move his king, so his rook protects, something like king h5, and I just play knight f5. And the point is that his rook hangs, he can't take my rook, he has to go like rook g5. I play rook h3. King here, both of them lose. So the winning move is knight f5 and knight e3. I thought e7 is also maybe winning. g7 is even better, because after g7, black, he just doesn't have a move. He can't take because this is a fork, and even though I'm not threatening something specific on this very move, like let's say he goes d4, I take on f5, and he can't move his king. Because king h5, king g5, I just play rook h3. King g5, king h5, doesn't matter. Rook h3, g8 queen, and I'm winning. Instead of that, I went e7. And I played this move again with 2 seconds on the clock, which shows you I had a minute to lock in there. I didn't, I was so like a deer in freaking headlights, man. Like I really, the emotion is just so like you're so adrenaline rushing. And I thought maybe this is winning too, only to realize my knight cannot move and my pawn cannot move. And this is just a draw because I'm going to lose my pawn. Now, rook versus rook and knight is very, very, very occasionally winnable if your opponent is stupid. I thought Julian might blunder his rook or lose on time. He did neither of those things, and instead of playing for 50 moves, I just offered him a draw. I also wanted everybody to go home. I wanted to go home, and speaking of which, I will now probably go eat. That was a very, very typical Gotham game, I have to tell you. The opening was not as bad as I thought. My self-loathing was way worse than it should have been. I got myself into a bad position with the white pieces. Then I went for a kingside attack. Then I was still underestimating my position. Then I blundered something in a situation where it was either or. Then I decided to stop being a little baby and try to save the game. And with Julian's help, really, I saved one of my worst positions of my life, and I was even winning for a move. So if this game shows anything, it shows that the match is going to be an absolute circus. And so that's all I have for you today. Shout out once again. Thank you to the sponsor of this match, Incogni. And I'll see you for the recap of round number 2. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. It will be live on my Twitch channel. Get out of here.